In towns and villages all over Africa, on perilous hillsides and overcrowded favelas in Latin America, from Asian cities where communities live right next to busy railways, and back to the unplanned and unhealthy cities of Africa. 3/4 of the world lack the same thing: secure land rights. But there is a network working to find ways to secure those rights.
The Global Land Tool Network has been established in 2006. It is a network of partners that represent different groupings.
The Global Land Tool Network really started because there was a gap in the world. A number of partners recognized that in order to get security of tenure for all, we had to fill this technical legal gap.
It's really important for people's livelihood that they get safer access to tenure and to land, and so that's the main reason for CEDA and Sweden to support GLTN.
The WIRO Commission, I think, is a founding member of the Global Land Tools Network, and we got involved early on. It was the first time we saw a place inside a UN habitat that grassroots women, pro-poor policies were being talked about.
But one of the challenges we are seeing is to be able to bring all this knowledge and also the tools down to the operative level.
One of the ways that the network achieves this is by building capacity.
The Land Tool Network emphasizes capacity building as one of its key cross-cutting themes, and we realize that there's capacity building needed for many different actors working on land.
But because it's practical and it's bringing people along where they're talking about beginning to look at how do you go from talking housing rights and how do you break that down.
We had a workshop here in Cotonou, Benin, to see how the tool has been performing so far.
We found the workshop interesting in that it gave an overview of the RFUs in Benin. The workshop brought up the possibility of using the tool in other communities.
All this initiative can actually fit into a land policy or land reform which is needed.
We are seeing a lot of the participants that take part in these courses actually then meeting up separately in the countries after we've done training programs.
And I think that's what we bring to GLTN. That it's not a technical or a managerial issue, but it's a deeply political process.
I think GLTN has managed to delink some of these contentious issues related to land by focusing on tools.
We are now in a situation where we have a number of tools.
And one of these tools has established a new approach to tenure.
The social tenure domain model is a land rights recording system. It is really responding to the development of proper land tool as one of the objectives of GLTN.
The conventional land administration systems cannot accommodate informal settlements where you have multiple claims on the same property.
This is now caters to the needs of the informal settlements, customary areas, and those with chaotic records management systems. There's also an opportunity because now there's an ongoing interest of programmers, technical people, and professionals to actually deal and use this software.
Of the many challenges putting into practice land tools, one of the most crucial is to make sure that women also share the benefits.
What GLTN has done is really to include in the process also gender issues and grassroots women.
Gender is critical for GLTN because it's well known and evidence shows that there's a huge disadvantage in terms of women's access to land. One of the things GLTN has been working on is to develop a set of gender evaluation criteria.
Nós começamos a trabalhar com GLTN em 2007.
We participated in a workshop in Nairobi, in Kenya.
Very proud of one of our member groups, Espacio Feminista, who was at the original meeting when we designed the gender criteria and who took it home to Recife.
This was the beginning of the development of what we call the matrix, the criteria for the evaluation of gender.
What we're seeing now in Recife, Brazil, is that it's also being used as a checklist in the design of a new initiative, such as land regularization there.
Combination kind of opened up space that hadn't opened before and gave them recognition, so that now the national Brazilian government wants to see how they can move land regularization for communities.
Espacio Feminista in Brazil is just one of the many partners that GLTN as a network works alongside.
A very important step forward in our own activities that we have created these very important partnerships within the GLTN network.
The concentrated energy of numerous partners working together to be able to deliver on an agreed agenda.
The Global Land Tools Network is a partnership, and there's now 45 international groups. It's because it's certainly not about everybody getting money. Here you come to meet people like surveyors, like planners, like other international organizations.
GLTN has really managed to work in a manner that we support strongly, that is, to work in partnerships with many different actors.
We find that it is a very good network where, you know, all the members of the network are treated equally. And we felt that is a very genuine and sincere kind of network.
The experience of this network is used to influence change at local and global level.
There are now 45 global partners and regional partners that are very influential in terms of dealing with land issues, have been influencing the thinking and creating a paradigm shift in academia, as well as in the professions, but also influencing the grassroots.
Not only have we got global paradigm shift, but we can start seeing potential for paradigm shift at country level. We need to go forward to pilot and then scale up. And our vision is 192 countries, a new way of doing business that adds to the existing way of doing business.
And so in many ways, GLTN reflects one of the manifestations of legitimizing what we do.
It's important to continue working with grassroots and also try to link up with the work that bilateral and international organizations like the World Bank is doing and feed in the knowledge that GLTN has.
In 2006, when we started the Global Land Tool Network in Vancouver, nobody could have imagined the kind of phenomenal impact that it has had.
And one of the key benefits that I'm observing is to be able to actually bring that understanding and that excitement about all the activities that GLTN is championing to our membership, to our practitioners and to our professionals.
When I look back at the past, and I see where we've come from, we've come a long way as partners.
So I look upon this program as one of the most successful programs of UN Habitat when I've been here the last 5 years.
Both in terms of the number of partners and the number of projects it's working on, I think if you look at it now, GLTN is a brand which is synonymous almost with transformational change.
This global network has helped to transform the way that land issues are tackled by working with grassroots groups and policymakers and developing new thinking and new tools so that communities around the world can enjoy the land rights that they deserve.